Making headlines. The President and First Lady arrives in India at the invitation of India's President. The President decides that the 900th anniversary of Maldives' conversion to Islam will be celebrated in a grand and colorful manner. And the Fisheries Ministry introduces a new plan to develop the lobster fishery in an environmentally sustainable way.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to PSM News. I'm your host Malak Ahmad Fayaz. Now for the news in detail. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu and First Lady Sajida Mohammed arrives for state visit to India at the official invitation of the President of India, Draupadi Murmu. During the visit, President Muizzu will engage in high-level discussions with President Murmu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and other senior Indian government officials. This marks President Muizzu's first state visit to India since taking office. According to the President's office, all hospitality arrangements for the Maldivian delegation will be provided by the Indian government. Previously, President Muizzu met with Prime Minister Modi in December 2023 on the sidelines of the COP28 International Environment Conference. On June 9th this year, he also met with President Murmu during his visit to attend the swearing-in ceremony of the new Indian government. President Muizzu also aims to strengthen the Maldives' foreign policy and maintain robust relations with key countries for the nation's development. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu decides that the 900th anniversary of the Maldives' conversion to Islam will be celebrated in a grand and colorful manner. The announcement was made by Minister of Dive Language, Culture and Heritage Adam Nasir Ibrahim during an interview with PSM News. Speaking to PSM News, Minister Adam Nasir emphasized that the 900th anniversary will be a momentous occasion in the country's history. He highlighted that the Maldives will celebrate a millennium of following Islam under the guidance of the faith. He also reiterated that the 900th anniversary will be marked with vibrant celebrations, noting that the countdown to this milestone has now officially begun. This year marks the 898th anniversary of the Maldives' conversion to Islam, with the 900th anniversary set to be celebrated in 2026. The Ministry of Fisheries and Ocean Resources introduces a new plan to develop the lobster fishery in an environmentally sustainable way.
The Fisheries Ministry's plan focuses on fostering sustainable growth in the lobster fishery as part of its broader efforts to enhance the fishing sector in the Maldives. The ministry said that the plan is centered on 4 key objectives. These objectives include ensuring that lobster fishing and related activities align with the ecosystem-based management, the precautionary approach, and sustainable resource management principles. The ministry also aims to establish policies informed by both ecological and socio-economic data related to the lobster fishery. In addition, the plan emphasizes implementing systems for monitoring, control, and surveillance of the fishery and trade while improving the collection and reporting of relevant data. The ministry said that a crucial component of the plan is raising awareness among stakeholders and the public about lobster species and sustainable fishing practices. It noted that the strategies and actions outlined in the plan are designed to meet these objectives, which will ultimately enhance the development of the lobster fishery and ensure the sustainable management of the resource. It also said that resorts and guest house represents the primary market for commercial lobster, followed by restaurants and other local markets. The ministry also said that discussions are ongoing with international partners to further develop the fishing sector of the Maldives, with a particular focus on expanding the diamondback squid fishery.
Minister of Dive Language, Culture and Heritage Adam Nasir Ibrahim states that the College of Nationalism, known as Divehi Gaumia Tuge Iswaru, will primarily focus on ensuring the maintenance of the history records of the Maldives. The College of Nationalism was inaugurated on September 4th in the ceremony held to mark the National Day. The college was inaugurated by President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu. Speaking to PSM News, Minister Adam Nasir stated that the college's main works will include recording the progress made by Maldivians in various areas linked with nationalism. The minister assured that the necessary documents related to this will be prepared by the college as well. The college will focus on 5 key areas including the Vehi language, history, digital technology, heritage and art. The establishment of the College of Nationalism is part of the government's broader efforts to revive and promote nationalism. Minister Adam Nasir also disclosed that the college will undertake a research pertaining to the identity and history of the Maldives. Minister of Tourism Ibrahim Faisal reveals that the government aims to increase the revenue generated through the tourism industry to $7 billion during this tenure.
Speaking on a program aired on PSM News, Minister Faisal reiterated the government's overarching goal of boosting the revenue generated from tourism. The tourism industry contributes the greatest portion of the state revenue. The minister stated that the government has adopted plans to boost the revenue to $7 billion, adding that efforts are also underway to increase tourist arrivals to 4 million annually. Furthermore, Minister Faisal emphasized the efforts exerted to increase the tourist arrival from China and India. The minister stated that while over 200,000 Chinese tourists have visited the Maldives, the aim is to increase the number of tourists welcomed from China to 300,000, breaking the 2019 record. In 2019, the Maldives welcomed a total of 284,000 tourists from China. This represents the largest influx of tourists from the Chinese market to this date. Despite the tourist arrivals from India being low earlier this year, Minister Faisal disclosed that the tourist arrivals from India have been slowly increasing. He expressed optimism in the Indian market, stating that the tourist arrivals from India will progress during the upcoming high season.
That's all the news at the moment. We'll be back to you after a quick prayer break.
Mammati asli himmage dammartiye aliko dingmage
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وبعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته وارزقنا شفاعته برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
ඒරෙග්ග දුනියග නਜ਼ර ಹುಟ್ಟಿ ಫವಾ ಪೊಡೆತಿ ಮಸಲ್ತ
Cero votos en contra.
ಎ ಮಸಲ್ತಹುಗೆ ಎಮ್ಮೆ ಫಹುಗ ತಫ್ಸೀರ್
This resolution is fundamentally different from past proposals.
ಎಮ್ಮೆ ಫುಣ ದಿರಾಸ ಕುರುವ ಪೊಂಟ್
ದುನಿಯೆಗೆ ಖಳಿ ಕೊಮ್ಮೆ ದುವಹಕು ಸೋಳಗಡಿ ತಿರಿಹುಗ PSM ನ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್
Welcome back to PSM News. Thank you for tuning in. Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation states that efforts are underway to ensure that the mechanical parking systems can be utilized by the public. The ministry revealed that this initiative is part of the Malefahi program launched to address parking issues.
Mechanical parking systems were first established in Hurumale in 2017, designated to accommodate four-wheeled vehicles. A total of 8 systems with 225 parking slots were developed in various locations in Hurumale Phase 1. However, the public has expressed concern as these systems have not been utilized up to this date. The systems which were previously under the Housing Development Corporation (HDC) have now been transferred under the Transport Ministry. The Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation, Muhammad Amin, previously announced the decision of relocating these systems to Hurumale Phase 2. He noted that these parking slots will be leased to the public at a very small price. The Transport Ministry stated that preparation efforts are currently underway to launch this project, highlighting that this work can be done with the collective efforts of state-owned enterprises. The ministry noted that this initiative will play a pivotal role in addressing parking issues and reduce the number of vehicles parked illegally. It further revealed that the policies and prices related to the mechanical parking systems will be publicized in the near future. While the government is exerting efforts to initiate the operations of the mechanical parking system, 2 land plots have been designated as a temporary parking zone. The Transport Ministry stated that these land plots are being utilized to resolve the parking issues and road congestion and to prevent such vehicle owners from incurring fines.
The Formula City Council announces the launch of a pilot project to test the conversion of street and public lights to smart lighting, aiming to modernize and enhance the city's infrastructure.
The initiative is part of a broader effort to transform Formula into a more technology-driven, eco-friendly city. Through the initiative, the city will implement smart lighting, enabling remote control of street and public lights, allowing for efficient management, including turning lights on and off and detecting any issues. So far, 2 street lights and 4 playing fields with 20 lights have been converted to smart lighting in Formula. Mayor of Formula City, Ismail Rafiq, noted that these smart lights will be more environmentally friendly than traditional street lights and are projected to save between $65,000 and $130,000 annually, significantly reducing the city's lighting costs. After the testing phase, the city plans to fully switch to smart lighting starting next year, with a goal of completing the transition within 2 years. The Formula City Council said that the project initially started with its own budget but will rely on donor funding in the future. In addition, 95% of the services offered by the council are now available online to improve accessibility. The Afun City portal has been launched to facilitate communication regarding municipal services, and another portal, Afun Edo, has been introduced to encourage public engagement in city affairs. These efforts align with the council's broader vision to transform Formula into a smart city.
Maldives Ports Limited's MPL sea-to-air cargo services connects with Emirates.
Sea-to-air cargo services were introduced by MPL in collaboration with Maldives State Shipping MSS and Global Airlines, and involves importing goods from other countries and re-exporting them to various destinations. Turkish Airlines and Qatar Airways have also joined to provide these services. According to Maldives Airports Company Limited MACL, Emirates has sent 12-unit load device ULD goods from Milan, Italy. Emirates will provide flights between Maldives and Dubai, connecting the Maldives with several European countries. MPL introduced sea-to-air cargo services in March, with the first shipment sent in May. The first shipment was a garment shipment from Bangladesh. The shipment was sent to Germany via Turkish Airlines. Sea-to-air transshipment services were introduced, aiming to shorten the duration involved in shipping merchandise by sea and provide prompt assistance. The hybrid model aims to meet demands within the commercial industry efficiently. The key benefits Maldives will receive from this service is the increased number of flights to various countries, especially European destinations, resulting from this service, typically offered by foreign countries to expedite the export process.
Xinhua News Agency says that the European Commission's decision to press ahead with tariffs on Chinese-made electric vehicles threatens to undermine decades of cooperation between China and the EU and endangers climate change goals. The EU said it would push forward with hefty tariffs on China-made EVs even after the bloc's largest economy, Germany, rejected them. The dispute is its biggest trade row with Beijing in a decade. State-run Xinhua said the move revealed a deep-seated protectionist impulse. European imports of Chinese-made EVs have soared in recent years, raising concerns among some domestic EV producers that they could suffer significant losses from a wave of cheap Chinese electric vehicles. The proposed duties on EVs built in China of up to 45% would cost car makers billions of extra dollars to bring cars into the bloc and are set to be imposed from next month for 5 years. The Commission, which oversees the bloc's trade policy, has said the tariffs would counter what it sees as unfair Chinese subsidies after a year-long anti-subsidy investigation. It said on Friday, however, that it would continue talks with Beijing. A possible compromise could be set to minimum sale prices. China's Commerce Ministry has expressed strong opposition to the planned tariffs, calling them unfair, non-compliant and unreasonable. It has launched a challenge to them at the World Trade Organization (WTO). In what has been seen as retaliatory moves, Beijing this year launched probes into imports of EU dairy and other products. The US imposes a 100% duty on imported Chinese EVs. Massive consecutive strikes hit Beirut's southern suburbs, sending booms across the Lebanese capital and sparking flashes of red and white for nearly 30 minutes visible from several kilometers away. Israel said its Air Force had conducted a series of targeted strikes on a number of weapons storage facilities and terrorist infrastructure sites belonging to the Hezbollah terrorist organization in the area of Beirut. The Israeli military said that before the strike, it took steps to mitigate the risk of harming civilians, including advancing warnings to the population in the area. For days, Israel has bombed Beirut suburbs considered strongholds for the Iran-backed armed group, killing its leader Saeed Hassan Nasrallah and possibly his potential successor. A Lebanese security source said on Saturday that Hashim Safieddin, the potential successor, had been out of contract since Friday after an Israeli airstrike near the city's international airport that was reported to have targeted him. The Israeli military said it eliminated Nasrallah in a strike on the group's central command headquarters in Beirut on September 27th. Hezbollah confirmed he had been killed. Lebanese security sources said Israeli strikes since Friday in a Lebanese residential area and Hezbollah stronghold south of central Beirut have kept rescue workers from scouring the site of Thursday night's attack. Hezbollah has not commented on Safieddin. His loss would be another blow to the group and its patron, Iran. Israeli strikes across the region in the past year, sharply accelerated in recent weeks, have devastated Hezbollah's leadership. Israel has been expanding its actions in Lebanon. On Saturday, it made its first strike in the northern city of Tripoli, a Lebanese security official said, and Israeli troops launched raids in the south. Former US Open champion Coco Gauff fights back from a sit-down to beat Spain's Paula Badosa at the China Open in Beijing and set up a final with Czech Karolina Muchova. Double faults and a weaker second serve troubled world number 6 Gauff early in the match as Badosa won 75% of her second return points in the set. Badosa broke to go 3-2 up, but Gauff fought back, making it 4-4 after a marathon game, where Badosa saved 10 break points, but a persistent Gauff ultimately prevailed. The world number 19 retook the lead with a quick break in the very next game and held her own serve to win the set. Badosa broke again in the first game of the second set and almost built a 4-1 lead, but Gauff saved 4 break points to hold. A confident Gauff would not lose another game in the set as she seized the momentum, landing more precise shots across the court, with Badosa not winning a single point as Gauff broke her in the last game. In the third set, the 20-year-old broke twice to build a 4-1 lead, hitting 2 aces as her powerful forehands eluded an increasingly exhausted Badosa. Gauff sealed victory with another break. In the second semi-final, Muchova was fully in control against Paris 2024 Olympics gold medalist Zheng Zhenwen, who suffered a hard fall in the opening set and took a lengthy medical timeout. Zheng 21 provided a degree of resistance in the second set, but 49-ranked Mukova took a 4-2 lead before sealing her place in a 6th WTA final with a 6-3, 6-4 victory over the Chinese 5th seed. Mukova, in only her 7th tournament back after suffering a wrist injury at the 2023 US Open, continues to put on impressive performances. The 28-year-old reached the US Open semi-finals in September and on Friday ended top seed and 3-time Grand Slam champion Aryna Sabalenka's 15-match winning streak in the China Open quarter-final. Ditching a lucrative career in finance, Wu Dinh opened a coffee shop without telling his parents and joined a wave of young Vietnamese entrepreneurs using espressos to challenge family expectations around work. Traditionally taken black, sometimes with condensed milk or even egg, coffee has been an integral part of Vietnamese culture. But starting a cafe is not a career that many of Vietnam's growing group of ambitious middle-class parents would choose for their children. The 32-year-old stated that his family first did not know much about it, adding that they were not very supportive when they gradually found out. Thu's parents repeatedly tried to convince him to stay in his well-paid investment banking job, but he persevered and opened 4 branches of Refined over 4 years in Hanoi. Each is packed from morning till night with coffee lovers enjoying Vietnamese Robusta beans in surroundings more like other things than a cafe. Vietnam was desperately poor until the early 2000s, pulling itself up with a boom in manufacturing, but many parents want to see their children climb the social ladder by moving into steady, lucrative professions such as medicine and law. Coffee, on the other hand, has become a byword for creativity and self-expression. According to Sarah Grant, an associate professor at California State University in Vietnam, cafes have become a way to break norms around family pressure. Coffee first arrived in Vietnam in the 1850s during French colonial rule, but a shift in the 1990s and early 2000s to large-scale production of Robusta, usually found in instant brews, made the country a coffee production powerhouse and the world's second-largest exporter. Grant said that a passion for the coffee business is often linked to that history. She added that coffee entrepreneurs are really proud that Vietnam is this coffee-producing country and has a lot of power in the global market. That's all the news we have for today. Thank you all for watching.
Kokko ba mihar TV goi phone lavajahagen video jassagen mihar phone halakui headset halakui gadi halakui olumbutta tanta marhali etti duwa wadairuga headset ವಾಹಕ ದಕ್ಕಮ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಜಸ್ಸಾಗಿನ ದವಜಹಾಗೆ ಮುಳಿ ಮಣಾಕಮೆಕೆ ಇಂತಿಹಾಯಂ ಅಗುಬಡು ಸಾಕಲೆ ಮುಳಿ ಏತಿಹಮ ಎಕ್ಕ ಫುಂಡು ಫುಂಡು ವಿಯೆ ಮೆಂಬಿ ಮೆಂಬುನೆ ತಂತನ ಗುಳಂ ಅರಿಕ ಮಡಕೊಲ್ಲಾವ ತನಗ ಜಸ್ಸಾದಂ ಹಮಜೀದಂ ಗುಳಾಯುದಾನೆದೋ ಎಮ್ಮಿ ಮಿಬುನೆ ಮಿಯಬ್ಬರ ಅದಿ ಮಾ ಹಿತಾವರಿ ಮಾ ತೆರ ಗುದ್ದಿ ಮಾವಾನ ಮಿಗೊತ ಫೋನು ವಾಹಕ ದಕ್ಕಮ ನುದುವಾರೆ ಎಗ್ಗುತಕ ವೆಸ್ರಂಗಳು ಕಮೆನ್ನುನೆ ಲಿಬೇನಿ ಕುಸ್ ಲಾಂಡೆ
ಮಗುಮತಿಗೆ ಸಲಾಮತ ರಕ್ಕಾತರಿಕ ಮಂಗ್ ಹೆದಿಫಾವಾ ಕವಾದುತಕ ಸಮಾಲು ವೆಲವ್ವ